Hello and welcome to Demian Astrology. This is just a quick video on the upcoming Spring Equinox that's going to be happening on March the 20th, 2022 at 15:33 GMT time. That's when the sun just about ingresses into Aries. And so it sets the scene for the chart and how that chart is going to manifest for the coming year. It's always interesting to look from an astrological point of view. This is basically the start of the astrological wheel. So it's from an astrological point of view, it's really important. It's really good for setting intentions for the next 12 months from the equinox point. It's really good for launching new projects, new businesses, setting the scene, setting the tone, going with the seasonal changes that are happening. We enter in the northern hemisphere into the season of spring, where everything becomes active and starts to grow again. And so naturally, and the sun also becomes much more prominent. So from a symbolic point of view, it's a really good time to just launch stuff, really. And it sort of gives a template of what we might all experience. So here's the chart of the spring equinox. It's got a Virgo rising at 2 degrees, and the sun, which is in Aries, is going to be in the 8th house. The 8th house is typically, as I like to call it, the skeletons in the closet. It's the house of healing, counseling, psychotherapy, other people's money, investments, tax, partners, resources as well, and shared resources. So a focus on that is going to be quite dominant, I would think, over the coming 12 months. The ruler of the chart, well, there's two rulers of the chart in spring equinox. The first is Mercury being the ruler of Virgo, and that's at 17 degrees in Pisces. And if you can look here, it makes an applying conjunction very tightly to Jupiter in Pisces at 18 degrees. So it's 1 degree away. That's really significant here. It's about working within partnerships, looking at both sides of different people's points of view. And also Jupiter is about overseas travel and diplomacy and overseas politics, economics. So that's a really, I think, quite a golden symbolic gesture that the chart is giving us. Mercury in Pisces, it's not strong. It can get a little bit kind of wistful and a little bit undirected, but I think it's supported by Jupiter. We could also see that Jupiter is reaching out or applying a conjunction, which it will do in April, to Neptune. So Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, and Jupiter, of course, is the traditional. So we've got a very Piscean flavor to this. And all in the 7th house. The 7th house is again about equality, about looking at people's different points of view as well, and diplomacy. Now, Mars is also the ruler because Mars rules Aries, and Mars is in the 6th house in Aquarius. This focuses on the health sector, general health, and where a lot of the energy is going to be directed for us all. Mars in Aquarius is very cerebral. It has lots of ideas, progressive ideas, slightly revolutionary ideas in the air, particularly with the health sector and how we deal with the health sector. And so I think that's going to be important. We've got Venus also separate in conjunction with Mars, but also this Mars is squaring Uranus, and I think that's really fundamentally hugely important because that accentuates the unpredictableness of the spring equinox for the coming 12 months. Saturn is also residing in the 6th house, again, work, health, service to others, healing. These are themes that are going to be very, very prominent here as well. And diplomacy. the ability for other countries to speak to other countries and to come to some kind of conclusion from that where they can move forward. Although with the Mercury in Pisces, I think that's going to be sometimes a little bit difficult because it might cloud the vision of the people who are doing the talking. So we come back to the midheaven, or expressed in 23 degrees in Taurus, which is kind of interesting because the North Node is right on the midheaven point. That for me that's a very, very strong energy of pulling forward, not backwards. The nodes always talk about where we come from and where we're going. So if we look at the South Node in Scorpio, that can be, and I'm not talking from a natal point of view, I'm talking more collectively, that could be quite destructive, or going back into the patterns of slight paranoia, or a sense of who's got the power, those kind of collective kind of aspects. But if we ground in where we're going forward, I think that's going to be really important. And that actually is a lot to do with the environmental aspects as well, being in Taurus. Remember, Uranus is there as well. And these are all in the 9th house, which is, again, other countries, dealing with other countries particularly. So it's really kind of significant that. And they're making square aspects of Saturn, so it's taking collective responsibility here as well. Interestingly, a lot of the planets are on the sort of west side of the chart, so that's having to be, again, that word diplomatic with other people to make things work here. That's going to be a key. And look at the moon. The moon is at 29 degrees at a critical degree in Libra. So again, again diplomacy, the Libran traits here, but it's at critical degree. So this is a very, very poignant 12 months that we've got ahead of us in terms of that Libran equality, seeing other people's points of view. We've got to get this right. This is basically what it says. Got to get this right, because then the moon symbolically will go into the 3rd house, which is all the art of communication, but it will go into Scorpio. So we've got to get this particular period right. And it's being squared by Pluto. So this is the instability of this is absolutely crucial. So there is a little bit on the spring equinox of 2022 and what to expect, and how that's going to manifest over the next 12 months until the next spring equinox. If you do like the video, please press the like button and please subscribe to the channel. It all helps me. Thank you very much for watching.